over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job. Do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. I'm hopeful that this ceasefire could be the beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the bloodshed and killing once and for all. With the same goal in mind, my administration has been moving quickly to restore trust in the alliance and rebuild American strength throughout the region. And we've really done that. We're a respected nation again. A lot's happened in the last couple of weeks. We are actually a very respected nation again. And I recently signed an executive order combating the vile wave of anti-Semitism that we've seen in the aftermath of the October 7th attacks. Together, America and Israel will renew the optimism that shined so brightly just 4 years ago. It was really a bright, beautiful light. We will restore calm and stability to the region and expand prosperity, opportunity, and hope to our nations and for all people of the Middle East, including the Arab and Muslim nations. Very important. We want the Arab and Muslim nations to have peace and have tranquility and have great lives.
Welcome, everyone.
All right, Shalom. Giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David that are scattered across the four winds of the earth. And just a quote, a Psalm of David, the 140th chapter to be exact, around the 8th verse. Grant not, O Yahweh, the desires of the wicked, further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. Salah. Now we know that this devil, they're known to boast of their heart's desire. And they go about it in a prideful manner. And they try to, push for it. And obviously, the only way that they are able to push forward is through the sword. The scriptures say in Micah 2, woe unto them that work evil upon their beds when the morning is light. They practice it because it is in the power of their hand, where they covet fields and take them by violence. And they just figure because they have the power to do so, that they're very confident, especially this megalomaniac that they put back in the White House, and this is exactly why, he was sought fit to be placed back into office, because they're using him to facilitate the bringing in or ushering in the new global order. All right, and they're trying to set the headquarters, over in the Holy Land, and now he's talking about, turning Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East. So, he's being very boastful, and we all know that the Heavenly Father, the scriptures say, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And I'm sure he should know that, given this objective to try to do so, to try to attempt to make this happen, it's going to cause way more smoke that's already been going up over there on that side of the world, because it goes against regional interests. All the neighboring Islamic countries, they're not going to co-sign that. So whatever it is he thinks he's going to do, and then ensuring peace the scripture says there's no peace unto the wicked. All right. There's going to be more war, if you ask me. So, this is basically what they're pushing. All right. They created, the global world order, NWO. All right. And they want to start by continuing the job of ethnic cleansing, over in Palestine, which, going back to the UN settlement, where they actually voted to agree that both the Arab population and the small hats, all right, the Idumeans, the Amalekites, they would share the land. One group would have one side, the other would have the other side. But that hasn't been able to happen. They have not been able to coexist without war, fighting. And that's really due to the fact that neither one of them belong over there in the first place. All right. Matter of fact, I'm going to start off with this in Joel, the 3rd chapter. And it says, Joel 3:2, it says, I will also gather, I'll start at 1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations. And it's the Heavenly Father that musters the host of the battle. All right. He's going to escalate the conflict that we already see happening. He's going to take it, notches up further to where other nations are going to get involved, especially if Trump, if he tries to follow through and actually increase U.S. military presence over there. It's going to be forced to drag these other countries into it, because for the most part, majority of the world is against, this objective. Okay. So, if Trump follows through with that, then he's definitely instrumental in prophecy being fulfilled with, the war of Armageddon, the gathering of the nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right. I mean, it's been brewing, for the last, 5-6 decades or so, but you can really see a epic increase if Trump really decides to follow through with this objective. So it says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. And Israel to this day is scattered among all the people, and a lot of us are here in the Western Hemisphere, and parted my land. All right, and you have what was known as the UN partition. Yeah, you have the partition. All right, this was going back to 1947, which was around the time of the Balfour. Where you had the first Balfour in 1917, if I'm not mistaken, and then in 1948, that's when they established Palestine, and they all start to enter into the land. So you see the old map. According to the UN partition plan, them and so the sections that are shaded in green will belong to Amalek, and then the area shaded in orange will belong to Ishmael, the Arabs. All right, and they would also share Jerusalem. Okay, and neither nations belong there. All right. How they both got into the land, it definitely wasn't by promise, because, they're not of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. Going back to the promise, starting with Abraham, that he would be given a land of Canaan. It was promised that his seed would inherit that, and his seed, which trickled down to the 12 tribes of Israel. But as of late, they're captive among all people. All right, and they're called bywords and discriminatory terms. They're under the curse. So Judah and Israel are not back in the land. Now you got these plantation Christians and apologists. They have an issue with us identifying ourselves as the people of that land, but they don't question the very people that's over there. All right, that falsely, inserted themselves with the help of Europe, with the help of the UK, with the help of the Rothschild family. They was able to get on up in there. Okay, so they parted the land. All right, partition, it basically means divide, and they divided the land up. Okay, so now you got this growing conflict between Esau and Ishmael over the land. All right, so Trump, knowing that his devotion is to serving those people. All right, he's pretty much he might as well be a crypto a JOO, So he was the perfect guy, to put back in there, because this is ultimately what they want to do. All right, we've been talking for years about this Greater Israel project, in which they want to, expand themselves among the regions that they already control. All right, and let me get this in the book of Psalm. Let's go to Psalm 37 and 35, and it says, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yet I sought him, but he could not be found. So one minute you see this devil, he just spreading himself, all right, all across the earth, just, taking control, with complete authority, spreading his democracy, forcing his policies by way of the sword. So this is how he's been expanding himself. But all he's doing is making more enemies in the process. This is why it says in the prophecy in Obadiah, as well as in Jeremiah 49, that he's being made small among the heathen and greatly despised. And all those neighboring countries over there, they're not going to stand for the U.S. to, stake their presence, over there to try to make that happen. All right, they all oppose. All right, Jordan, Turkey, Iran oppose. So that's what I kind of want to bring out, that if he tries to force this, it's gonna grow into, a greater conflict. All right, which is going to further escalate the already war that's taking place. All right, so let me get this real quick. And this is from BBC News. And it says, this is from Jeremy Bowen. He said, Trump's Gaza plan won't happen, but it will have consequences. All right. And you can even see the look on this devil's face, Satan Yahoo. Okay. He's even looking at Trump like, is this guy for real? So it says Donald Trump's plan for the U.S. to take over and own Gaza, resettling its population in the process, is not going to happen. It requires the cooperation of Arab states that have rejected it. They include Jordan and Egypt, countries that Trump wants to take in Gaza's Palestinians, and Saudi Arabia, which might be expected to foot the bill. Western allies of the U.S. and Israel are also against the idea. Some, perhaps many Palestinians in Gaza, might be tempted to get out if they had the chance. But even if 1 million left, as many as 1.2 million others would still be there. Presumably, the United States, the new owners of Trump's Riviera of the Middle East, would have to use force to remove them. So it means that we would have to spend more of our taxpaying money to fund yet, another war. Or really, it would just be an escalation of the current war that we've already been paying out of our tax-paying money. It's going to further hurt us in the process. So basically, nobody would really be down with it. All right. And you think people are protesting now? It would really, kick into effect. With more division, more protest. Because they would have to basically shed more blood, commit more genocide with the use of our taxpaying money. All right. Because they would need more equipment, more military personnel over there. They would need more defense. All right. Because they would have to deal with the proxies that are over there. All right. Hezbollah. And then you're dealing with, Egypt and Jordan jumping in. All them Arabic neighboring countries. It says after America's catastrophic intervention in Iraq in 2003, that would be deeply unpopular in the U.S. It would be the final end of any lingering hope that a two-state solution was possible. That is the aspiration that a conflict more than a century old could be ended with the establishment of an independent Palestine alongside Israel. The Netanyahu government is adamantly against the idea, and over years of failed peace talks, 2 states for 2 peoples became an empty slogan. Yeah, because that's no longer a thing now. Now that they done waged war, and it's been really a one-sided war since they've been over there, with a lot of Palestinians dropping dead because they don't have the same firepower that Israel has, and Israel got Europe, they got America. How much more force do you need? So they're just bullies over there. It says, but it has been a central plank of U.S. foreign policy since the early 1990s. The Trump plan would also violate international law. America's already threadbare assertions that it believes in a rules-based international order would dissolve. Russia's territorial ambitions in Ukraine and China's in Taiwan would be turbocharged. So, you start to focus, your mission over into Gaza. China's going to be like, all right, well, you ain't paying attention because we finna lock in on Taiwan. So what you going to do? You're going to focus in multiple regions, multiple locations. You're going to spread yourself thin. You did this back during the first Roman Empire. That's part of how you failed the first time. Too much spending on the military, and you had them spread out too thin. Well, like the scriptures say, there's no new thing under the sun. It says, what will it mean for the region? Why worry about all that if it is not about to happen? At least not in the way Trump announced in Washington, watched by a grinning and clearly delighted Benjamin Netanyahu. The answer is that Trump's remarks, however outlandish, will have consequences. He is the president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, no longer a reality TV host and political hopeful trying to grab headlines. Short term, the disruption caused by his stunning announcement could weaken the fragile ceasefire in Gaza. Like I just said, it would just, further, put fuel on already burning fire. All right. One senior Arab source told me it could be its death knell. The absence of a plan for Gaza's future governance is already a fault line in the agreement. Now, Trump has provided one, and even if it does not come to pass, it presses very big buttons in the minds of Palestinians and Israelis. All right. So, this would definitely be a bad idea. All right. And all these other countries, they would oppose. And you got Turkey's foreign minister, he's saying this is unacceptable. Okay. And this is an American ally through NATO. Okay. In which when you read Ezekiel the 38th chapter, it happens to be one of those countries that's going to be in alliance with Gog, which is Russia, when this war takes place. All right. So Turkey is not going to be supporting Israel in anything that they're doing. Especially since the Zionist government, they've been taking out all these generals, fighting in these proxies, what they did to Syria. So let me just read this real quick, just a little bit of it. It says Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan on Wednesday rejected U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to displace Palestinians from Gaza, calling it unacceptable, adding that even considering it is wrong. Speaking at Anadolu's editor's desk in the capital, Ankara, Fidan said Turkey opposes all initiatives that seek to exclude the people of Gaza from the equation in the region, reaffirming its commitment to Palestinian rights. Fidan said the ceasefire in Gaza appeared to be holding for now, but warned of obstacles to humanitarian aid delivery. Well, they call peace many times, and right after they do so, they just fire on those people. Come on, man, this is the devil we talking about, and which the scriptures tell you. Let's go to Psalm 55 real quick. I mean, they're bloodthirsty. They're always itching to use the sword when it comes to adversaries. There's Psalms 55 and 21. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So anytime they speak peace and, let's have a ceasefire, let's have a talk, just know maybe a day from then, they're going to strike you. They're going to fire on you because they've already demonstrated that they're willing to do so. So they can never be trusted. All right. And not to mention the sword, the power of the sword that was given to them, which is what made them dominant in the first place. Revelation 6:4 says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. So there's never going to be peace in the earth as long as they're in power. As long as they continue to create these agendas for themselves, that's only in their own selfish interests and not for the people in the world, it's not going to be peace. It's going to be war. It says, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. All right. And that's how this man's world is going to end. It's going to end with the sword. It's going to end by straight up war. Babylon is going to be overthrown with violence. Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down. And that's what this is all going to escalate to. But Trump, with the pride that he has, he's a megalomaniac. He's under strong delusion. All right. He really, believes in himself as if he's not set up, like he's not a puppet. But he's a puppet for these globalists. All right. And they really think that they're going to continue to run the show because they know that the time is ticking. Time, the scriptures say in Revelation 12:12, the devil's coming down with great wrath because he know that he have but a short time. That's why they moving so quick with all these agendas and objectives. Agenda 2030. Operation Warp Speed 2. So going back here, it says, let me see, I think I left off. It says there are issues with the transfer of essential supplies such as shelters, heavy machinery, and qualified humanitarian aid necessary to rebuild lives in Gaza, he noted. He expressed concern that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu may resume the military operations in Gaza once the hostage situation has been resolved. We need to assess what kind of stance and sanctions the guarantor countries can take in response, he said, emphasizing that the U.S. is the only nation capable of exerting pressure on Israel. The Turkish foreign minister reiterated that the evacuation of Gaza and the forced displacement of Palestinians are unacceptable, stressing that regional countries share this view. He recalled how the Palestinian issue began with the expulsion of Palestinians from their homeland and the subsequent settlement of Israelis in their place. You know, and that's what they do. You want to remove landmarks and take, you know, take land by violence, by force. Regarding Turkey-Israel relations, Fadan said Turkey's position is clear. Our stance here is clear. When we took a stance, we took the stance for a purpose. It was our reaction because we stand against your genocide with the methods we can, he asserted, adding that positive steps by Israel could lead to a corresponding reaction from Turkey. He warned that the world is shifting toward a law of the jungle, where no one considers the needs of others and applies the philosophy of might makes right. Okay. And, you know, with the moves that the U.S. is making, and what the Israeli government has been making, is forcing these people to want to build themselves up, you know, economically and militarily. In which this is why it says this in Joel 3. Joel 3 and verse 9, it says, proclaim you this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So everybody's in the process of building themselves up, because ultimately the Lord's purpose is to drag all of them into this world conflict, which is better known as the War of Armageddon. So they got to prepare themselves. Because Trump, you know, he does this, and now you got U.S. presence over there, and they helping them slaughter those Palestinians even further. Those Arab regional countries that are around about, they're going to intervene. Okay, they're going to involve themselves. All right, Russia is not going to stay quiet. Iran is not going to stay quiet. All right. It's basically going to be provocation, because they do not agree. And with that, you know, taking place, that's the Lord pretty much throwing that monkey wrench. All right, you're not going to do what you believe you say you're going to do. All right, Job 5:12, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. All right, also Psalms 33 and 10 through 11. You know, he maketh the devices of the heathen of no effect. All right, because these heathens, you know, they're just moving as if they control their own destiny. But the Most High is the one who controls all things. It says that in Apocrypha, Sirach 18, that he governeth the world with the palm of his hand. So for these devils to you know, boast of, you know, the near future endeavors of what they got going, which is all beneficial towards themselves, it just shows you the level of pride, which is why the prophecies say, the pride of their heart have deceived them. So it says, verse 11, reading on, it says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, till the cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. All right, and that's what he's going to do. So hopefully he does do it, so he can further stir this thing up and escalate it. All right, and also they can go ahead and set up this MOTB. They might as well bring it now, because the system is already in place. Put you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. So basically, while these nations are going to be assembled over there, fighting, the Lord's going to be in the heavens, rubbing his hands together, or like Birdman, because he's going to come back and he's going to, do the Lord's honors and judge and make war. All right. Judge and make war, man. Turn all these people into dust and a powder. Straight liquidate them. It says multitudes in a valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. All right. So, given if these elites allow Trump to do this, then you're gonna see more take place, because you're going to see a lot more bloodshed, a lot of inhumane acts taking place, because they're relentless over there, man. Like they have no humanity. There's no soul. They just taking them out left and right. Got the children on field trips, watching them get slaughtered. It's just sick over there, man. And vocab, he ain't got no issue with it. He ain't got nothing to say. But rather focus on being a polemic against against Hebrew Israelism. Come on, man. You're gonna compare what they're doing over there with what we do? But yeah, man. Everything's gonna be brought into judgment, and that's the bottom line. And these devils that are over there, all right. You only just took the land in your possession, but it's stolen. All right, y'all took the land. All right. So eventually you're gonna be in war. All right, and you're gonna be blown out of the land, and the true children of Israel is gonna be returned back into the land. All right, read Ezekiel the 36th chapter. All right, Jeremiah 3:18, Jeremiah 16 and was it 14 on down? So there's plenty of scriptures that tell you that the true children of Israel is going to return back. And guess what? When they do return back, nation shall not lift up sword, because there won't be any more wars anymore. That's one of the main ways you know that they're not the people, because there's still war going on. The world's about to get into a global conflict over these devils. What the prophecy did say, the least of the flock shall draw them out and make them desolate along with them. And that's basically Babylon. America's going to get dragged in. All right. And as a result, they're going to get all 200 million, all right, nuclear warheads launched on them. It's gonna end in Babylon being thrown down, totally wiped out and turned into the lake of fire. So yeah, so you see that it's getting pushed back. This idea is not good. All right. The UN is don't agree with it. You know, the Arab countries is not with it. So if he tries to move forward with it, then it's just going to be the U.S. and Israel versus the rest of the world. So that's pretty much that. I'll try to leave a link to these in the description. Hopefully y'all were edified. I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And until the next one, Shalom.